rational expressions and equations. This is our Module 10 test that we had last week. My professor in petrology, Dr. Best, would call this a post-mortem. Problem 1 is use the following and exclude value of the rational expression x squared plus 2x over x squared minus 2x minus 8. For excluded values, it has to do with the denominator, because dividing by 0 is not defined in mathematics or in algebra. So if we set this denominator of x squared minus 2x minus 8 as not equal to 0, we will find our excluded values. And so what we do is try to find the factored form of x squared minus 2x minus 8. And for this, we have x plus and x minus. That's how we get a negative 8, plus times a minus. What two numbers multiplied together equal 8 but have a difference of 2? Well, that's going to be x plus 2, x minus 4. So using the zero factor property, x plus 2 cannot equal 0, nor can x minus 4 equal 0. So x cannot equal negative 2, nor can x equal 4. So those are our excluded values, and we just look. We have choice A is not an excluded value. Negative 2 is an excluded value. Yes. 0 is not an excluded value. 2 is not an excluded value. And 4 is. So that is problem 1. Problem 2, write the expression below as an equivalent expression with the denominator of quantity x squared minus 4 times quantity x plus 1. And then we have the original expression 6x over 2x plus 4. I'm going to take this denominator of 2x plus 4 and factor it into 2 times quantity x plus 2. And I'm going to take this target denominator, the x squared minus 4, and that's going to be, using different squares, x plus 2, x minus 2. So that's going to help us out here. So I'm going to rewrite this original expression as 6x over 2 times quantity x plus 2. And since 6 divided by 2 equals 3, we're going to be able to rewrite this as 3x over x plus 2. Now to get our target denominator of x squared minus 4 times quantity x plus 2, we can go ahead and multiply our denominator by x minus 2, and we have to likewise multiply our numerator by x minus 2. And then we still have this x plus 1, so we multiply our numerator and denominator by x plus 1, x plus 1. And so that's really going to be it. We can just rewrite here 3x, x minus 2, times quantity x plus 1, and finally I'm going to rewrite this denominator as quantity x squared minus 4 times quantity x plus 1. And so that's going to be our our equivalent expression with that given denominator. Next, 3. Determine if each expression is equivalent to x squared plus 3x minus 10. So we're going to factor everything we can. So our numerator, x squared plus 3x minus 10, we can rewrite as, in factored form, as quantity x. We have x plus minus. We're going to have x plus 5 times quantity x minus 2. It's going to be our factored form of that numerator. And then the denominator, we have x squared minus 25. And in factored form, that's going to be quantity x plus 5 times quantity x minus 5. And now rewriting this expression here, you can rewrite that as x plus 5 times quantity x minus 2, and rewrite our denominator as x plus 5, x minus 5, x plus 2, and x plus 5 over x plus 5 cancel each other. So remaining we have x minus 2 in the numerator, and in the denominator we have quantity x minus 5 times quantity x plus 2. And this is going to look exactly like option C. So that is true. And then if we look at D, we have everything the same except the numerator is 2 minus x, so that is a false for D. And then if we look at choice B, we have in the numerator for B quantity x plus 5 to quantity x minus 2, which is opposite the denominator of what we really have. And the last thing we have to consider is A. And for A, if we multiply both our numerator and our denominator by -1, we get negative x plus 2 in the numerator over quantity negative x plus 5 times quantity x plus 2. And just rewriting our numerator and denominator, we can rewrite that numerator as 2 minus x, and our denominator we can rewrite as quantity 5 minus x times x quantity x plus 2, which is going to be precisely the same as A. So A is true. Next, for 4 through 6, add or subtract the given expressions, give each result in the simplest form, and state the combined excluded values. Well, our common denominator for this is going to have to be the only thing we see in the denominator, which is x plus 3. And that denominator cannot be 0, so we say x plus 3 cannot equal 0, so therefore x cannot equal -3. And so this right here is what we call our excluded value. Okay, now to work on this expression here, I had a lot of students who would just take this x minus 3 and put that all over 1 and use that. What I prefer to do instead is to take each term separately. So I'm going to take this x, and that's going to be x over 1. All these are over 1. So if we have x over 1, and to get our common denominator of x plus 3, I'm going to multiply that denominator by x plus 3, and then we have to multiply that numerator also by quantity x plus 3. And so we have that, and then we have minus 3 over 1, and multiply that denominator by x plus 3, and likewise the numerator by x plus 3. And then we have the last thing here, plus 9 over x plus 3. So what we have left here is x times quantity x plus 3 minus 3 times quantity x plus 3 plus 9 over x plus 3. So I'm going to write all these over x plus 3. And so now we can distribute x times x is x squared plus 3x, and then we have minus 3x minus 9, and finally we have plus 9, and all that is over x plus 3, and so that's going to be equal to we have cancellations of 3x minus 3x and negative 9 plus 9. So we have left over x squared over x plus 3. And so that's going to be our result in simplest form. Next, 5. We have x over x squared plus 11x plus 30 minus 5 over x squared minus 9x plus 20. So we can take our denominators, and we have x squared plus 11x plus 30, and in factored form that's going to be quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 6. And next we have our other denominator, x squared plus 9x plus 20, and that's going to be equal to quantity x plus 4 times quantity x plus 5. And our common denominator for this is going to be, well, x plus 4 times quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 6. And excluded values x cannot equal negative 6, negative 5, or negative 4. Okay, let's go ahead and rewrite this expression here. So we're going to rewrite x over, let me leave myself a little more room here. I'll go far left here, okay, equals x over x plus 5, x plus 6. And to get our common denominator here, we have to multiply both our denominator by x plus 4 and our numerator by x plus 4 also. And then we have minus 5 over quantity x plus 4, x plus 5, and we have to multiply our denominator to get our common denominator, x plus 6 and x plus 6 in the numerator. And so what we have is x times quantity x plus 4 minus 5 times quantity x plus 6, and that's going to be all over quantity x plus 4 times quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 6, and then distributing on top we have x squared plus 4x, and then we have minus 5x minus 30, and that's all going to be over quantity x plus 4 times quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 6, and factoring our numerator, or we're going to simplify first. Negative 4x minus 5x is going to be negative x. We have x squared minus x minus 30 over x plus 4 times quantity x plus 5 times quantity x plus 6. And now I'm going to just work over to the right here for purposes of room. So x squared minus x minus 30 is going to be quantity x. Let's see, let me write this out. That's going to be x plus, x minus, and it's going to be what two numbers multiplied together equal 30, but difference of 1. That's going to be 6 and 5. So it's going to be x minus 6 times x plus 5. So that's going to be all over x plus 4, x plus 5, quantity x plus 6. And what's going to cancel out here? X plus 5 over x plus 5. So what we have left is going to be our final answer on the right. It's going to be x minus 6 over quantity x plus 4 times quantity x plus 6. And that's going to be it. Okay, next, problem 6. We have 4 over x minus 1 minus 6 over x squared minus 1 plus 3x over x plus 1. So we have our most complex denominators, this one, x squared minus 1. And that in factored form is going to be, using different squares, quantity x plus 1, x minus 1. So our common denominator is going to be exactly this, quantity x plus 1 times quantity x minus 1, and our excluded values are going to be x cannot equal plus or minus 1. So now let's rewrite this expression here. We have 4 over x minus 1, and we have to multiply this by x plus 1 in the denominator, and likewise x plus 1 in the numerator. And then we have minus 6. I'm going to rewrite this denominator as quantity x minus 1, x plus 1. And then finally we have this plus 3x over x plus 1. We have to multiply that denominator by quantity x minus 1, and likewise our numerator by x minus 1. And what we have left is, we have 4 times quantity x plus 1 minus 6 plus 3x times quantity x minus 1. And that's all going to be over x minus 1, x plus 1. And so now we're going to go ahead and distribute and simplify. We have 4x plus 4 minus 6 plus 3x times x is going to be 3x squared, and we're going to have minus 3x. And that's all going to be over quantity x plus 1, it's quantity x minus 1. And finally, and what we're going to do is take these, try to combine like terms. So we have 3x squared, and then we have 4x minus 3x is going to be plus x, and then we have 4 minus 6 is going to be minus 2. It's going to be all over x plus 1, x minus 1. Now, it's going to help us a lot if we can factor this numerator, and we can factor using a bunch of different ways. I'm going to go this like the fastest way I know how. Okay, I'm rewriting the denominator, x plus 1, x minus 1. So what we're going to have is we have 3x squared, and we know that the factored form of 3x squared is going to be 3x and x. We know we have minus 2, so what we're going to have is plus 2 So 2 and 1 are the only possibilities we have. So we just have to look at what we have. So we have plus x. So that's going to be plus 1 and minus 2 over here. Let's see if that works out, because negative 2x plus 3x, that checks out. So x plus 1 over x plus 1 are going to cancel. So we're left with, in the numerator, 3x minus 2 over x minus 1. And that's going to be our most simplified form for answer choice. Yeah, that's what we have here. Okay. Next, we go to problem 7. Is each of the following an excluded value of the quotient? So that's going to get through our excluded values. To find excluded values, we take our denominators. So we know that x squared minus 9 cannot equal 0. In factored form, we have x plus 3 times 20x minus 3 cannot equal 0. So x cannot equal plus or minus 3. So plus or minus 3 is an excluded value. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark those yes and yes. Okay, next we have this next denominator, 3x cannot equal 0. So 3x cannot equal 0. And so therefore x cannot equal 0. So we'll put down 0 as an excluded value here. And one other thing we have to consider when dividing is that when we divide an expression by a fraction, that's going to be the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the fraction. So we know that the reciprocal of this fraction here is going to be 3x over 2x minus 12. So also 2x minus 12 cannot equal 0. So that's going to be another possibility for an excluded value. So factor on the left side, we have 2 times 20x minus 6 cannot equal 0. So therefore x minus 6 cannot equal 0. So x cannot equal 6. So that is a fourth excluded value. And so those all B, C, D, E are excluded, but negative 6 is not an excluded value. So that's that. Next, for 8 through 11, multiply or divide the given expressions, give each result in simplest form, and state any excluded values. Well, we have a multiplication here, so I'm going to go ahead and work on factoring and excluded values first. Well, 2x in the numerator minus 2 can be rewritten as 2 times 20x minus 1. And then now our denominators, x squared plus 6x is going to be equal to 6x. X squared plus 6x is going to be equal to x times 20x plus 6. And then 3x minus 3 is equal to 3 times 20x minus 1. So these are all possibilities for excluded values. So x times 20x plus 6 cannot equal 0. And so therefore x cannot equal 0. X cannot equal negative 6. And then for this one right here, on the right, x minus 1 cannot equal 0, so x therefore cannot equal 1. So these here, these three things here are excluded values. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite this expression here. Numerator is 2 times quantity x minus 1 over x times quantity x plus 6. And then we have times x plus 4. I'm going to go ahead and parenthesize x plus 4 over 3 times quantity x minus 1. And now we connect these fractions and simplify where we can. This x minus 1 over x minus 1 will cancel each other. And I don't see any other thing we can cancel, so we have left in the numerator 2 times quantity x plus 4 over x times quantity x plus 6. And that should be our simplified form for well, let's see, that we got to pick up that 3 there too. There we go. So 2, there we go, that's going to be it. Okay, next 9. Okay, same process as for number 8. We're going to go ahead and factor everything we can. So for our numerator, first of all, we have x squared minus x minus 6, and that can be factored into, we have x plus something, x minus, so it's going to be 2 and 3 are apart, so it's going to be x minus 3, x plus 2, so that's going to be that first numerator factored. And then we have our first denominator, x squared plus x minus 20, and that factors into x plus, x minus, and 20, what two factors are 1 apart? Well, that's going to be 5 and 4. Well, that's going to be plus 5 minus 4, and that's going to carry with it an excluded value. That's where we get our excluded values from. Next, our numerator here, x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, it's going to be what two numbers multiplied together to get 8 but are 6 apart. Well, that's going to be let's see, actually it's going to be 2 and 4, and they're both going to have to be negative. So we have negative, negative. It's going to be 2 and 4. And now for excluded values, we know that x, our only numerator, only denominator here, x plus 5, x minus 4 cannot equal 0. So therefore x cannot equal negative 5, and x cannot equal 4. So these here are the excluded values. And now going ahead and rewriting, so we hope simplify, we'll rewrite this expression as quantity x plus 2, that's quantity x minus 3, over, we have x plus 5, x minus 4, times, we have our factored numerator here of x minus 2, x minus 4, and all over x plus 2. We can connect these two expressions together and then simplify where we can. X plus 2 over x plus 2 cancel equal 1. X minus 4 over x minus 4 cancel equal 1. So what we're left with is everything we cannot cancel, which is going to be quantity x minus 3 times quantity x minus 2, and that's going to be all over x plus 5. and that's going to be our simplest form. And so we have everything we need here for problem 9. Next, problem 10. We have a division problem. And so what we have to concern ourselves with, we're going to rewrite this as a multiplication problem, because I'm just going to rewrite everything. X squared plus 4x minus 21 over x squared minus 49. Dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal. So I'm going to rewrite this as times the reciprocal, which is going to be x squared minus 2x minus 35 over x squared plus 8x plus 15. So let's go ahead and rewrite everything we can. I'm going to have to work this to the right. X squared plus 4x minus 21 factors into, we have x plus something, x minus, so we need to multiply together, be 21 but be 4 apart. That's going to be 7 and 3, so it's going to be plus x plus 7, x minus 3. Next, x squared minus 49 factors into, using different squares, x plus 7, x minus 7. Next, we have x squared minus 2x minus 35. That's going to factor into, we want to, let's see, 35. The factors of 35 could be 5 and 7, which are 2 apart. So we have x plus, x minus. We have minus 7 and plus 5. So that's going to be that factor. And finally, we have x squared plus 8x plus 15 cannot, I said cannot equal. I'm kind of working ahead towards excluded values there, aren't I? We'll take care of that later. It's going to be x plus 3, x plus 5. Now our excluded values are going to come all from here, because we have original denominators, and the new denominator we got by taking the reciprocal. So we have, just looking at everything here, we have x cannot equal plus or minus 7, because that would take care of this. X cannot equal negative 5. And then we have this x plus 3. X cannot equal negative 3. So these are all excluded values. Okay, let's do the rewriting here in factored form of everything. So we have now x plus 7, x minus 3 over x plus 7, x minus 7. And it's going to be times, we have this x plus 5 times quantity x minus 7 over this x squared plus 8x plus 15, which is going to be x plus 3, x plus 5, and with that, I hope we're going to be able to cancel a lot of things here. I'm going to connect these. So we have x plus 7 over x plus 7, x plus 3, I don't see any that cancel anywhere, x plus 5 over x plus 5. And finally we have x minus 7 over x minus 7. So what we have left is x minus 3 over x plus 3. So that's going to be our simplified form for number 10. Next, number 11. Okay, I'm going to go ahead as number 10 and rewrite this as this division problem as a multiplication problem. So we'll write this as x squared minus 4x plus 4 over x squared plus 7x plus 12 and times the reciprocal of this fraction here. So that's going to be x squared plus 3x over 2x squared minus x cubed. And so now we're going to do the factoring. Here, the first numerator, we have x squared minus 4x plus 4 factors into quantity x minus 2 times quantity x minus 2. Next we have our first denominator. That's 7x. That's going to be x squared plus 7x plus 12. Put our equal sign there. Equals x plus 3 times x plus 4. Okay, and next we have this x squared plus 3x factors into x times quantity x plus 3. Okay, and the last one, this denominator we have here is 2x squared minus x cubed factors into x squared times 2 minus x. And if we take a negative sign out of here, what this simplifies further to is negative x squared times quantity x minus 2. And so our excluded values come from these things right here. So let's work on those first. So excluded values okay, we have x cannot equal negative 3 or negative 4 or 0. So we'll say x cannot equal negative 3, x cannot equal negative 4, x cannot equal 0. Let's see anything else. Also, we have this x minus 2, so x also cannot equal 2. I think that covers everything. That should cover everything. So let's do our rewriting here. So first of all, we rewrite this as x minus 2, x minus 2. Over, we have the second thing here, which is going to be x plus 3 times quantity x plus 4. And we multiply that by the factored form of x squared plus 3x, which is going to be x times quantity x plus 3. And our factored form of our denominator here, which is going to be negative x squared times quantity x minus 2. And then we cancel out everything we can. I'm going to connect these fractions here. We have x minus 2 over x minus 2 will cancel. We have x plus 3 over x plus 3 cancel here. And then we have a simplification that a lot of students didn't get right here. We have this x over negative x squared can be simplified to negative 1 over x. And so what we're going to have left is negative x minus 2 over x times quantity x plus 4. And you can leave it like this. This is an acceptable answer. You could also distribute this negative sign on top and end up with 2x with 2 minus x over x times quantity x plus 4. These are equivalent answers here, so that would be number 11. Okay, 12. What we have here is the volume of a rectangular garden shed is given by this expression. So that's going to be our volume. The length of the shed is given by the expression 3x minus 6. So that's going to be, we'll call L. And the height of the shed is given by the expression x squared minus 9. And we'll call this our h for height. Then use the expressions, find a rational expression for the width of the shed, then use the expressions for length, height, and width to find the dimensions of the shed when x equals 4 feet. What we're going to have here is to consider this is going to be essentially a rectangular prism, which is volume equals length times width times height. And to find a rational expression for the width of the shed, the width is going to be equal to the volume divided by L times h. And so our width is going to be equal to our volume, and our volume is given by x to the 4th power plus x cubed minus 6x squared over L times h. And L times h is going to be, well, L is going to be 3x minus 6, and h is going to be x squared minus 9. And so we're going to simplify this expression and get a width. So first of all, we have x to the 4th power plus x cubed minus 6x squared. Factoring, that's going to be equal to x squared as our common factor times quantity x squared plus x minus 6. And that can be further factored into x squared times quantity x plus 3 times quantity x minus 2. So that's going to be our factored form of our numerator here. And then our denominator, we have 3 times quantity x minus 6, 3x minus 6 factors into 3 times quantity x minus 2, and then we have x squared minus 9 factors into x plus 3 times quantity x minus 3. So we can do all the rewriting of this. So our width is equal to, in factor form, x squared times quantity x plus 3, x minus 2, over, we have our length, which is 3 times quantity x minus 2 times x plus 3, x minus 3, and we just cancel everything we can. So we have x plus 3 over x plus 3, x minus 2 over x minus 2. So we're left with our width being x squared over 3 times quantity x minus 3. So that's going to be our simplified version of our width of our shed. And now we can substitute in, find the length, width, and height when x equals 4. So w, substituting in 4, we get 4 squared over 3 times 4 minus 3, which is going to be 16 over 3 times 1. So we have 16/3 feet. You can write that as 5 1/3 feet if you'd like. Now for the length, substituting in 4, we would have our length of being 3 times 4 minus 6 is going to be 12 3 times 4 minus 6, let me get this right, 3 length of 4 equals 3 times 4 minus 6. That's going to be 12 minus 6, or 6 feet. And our height, that's going to be height at 4 is going to be equal to 4 squared minus 9, which is 16 minus 9 is 7 feet. Okay, so that'll be our answer to number 12. Number 13, solve the rational equation by completing the table and graphing the results. So I'm just going to fill these in. What we do is to solve this, we're going to do is set this equal to 0, this equation, right side equal to 0, by adding 4 to both sides. So what we have is x over x minus 5 plus 4 is equal to 0, or you'd set that as y. So this is what we're going to use. I'm just going to fill these in quickly. So we get, if we plug in 0 here, we get 4. And so we have our point here is 0, 4. If we plug in 2, we get 2 over 2 minus 3, so it's going to be negative 2/3 plus 4 is going to be 3 1/3, or I'll put it in decimalized form, 3.33. So we have 2 comma 3.33. If we plug in 3.5, what we have is 3.5 over 3.5 minus 5, so 3.5 over 1.5 plus 4, that's going to be 1 2/3, or I'm put 1.67. I'm going through these pretty quickly here. So we have 3.5, comma 1.67. That's a decimal approximation. And if we plug in 4.5, we're going to get 4.5 over 4.5 minus 5, so that's going to be 4.5 divided by 0.2, which is going to be negative 9 plus 5. That's going to be negative 5. So we get 4.5 comma negative 5. And then if we plug in 6.5, we get 6.5 or 6.5 minus 5. So it's going to be 6.5 divided by 1.5. So that's going to be 6.5. That's going to be 8 and a third. So it's going to be 8.33. So we're going to put in the coordinate pair 6.5, comma 8.33. And then for 8, we plug in 8, we're getting an output of 6 2/3, or decimalize 6.67. So our coordinate pair is 8, comma 6.67. And then our excluded value, excluded value is x cannot equal 5. So x cannot equal 5. And in graphing, 5 becomes our, x equals 5 becomes our vertical asymptote when we graph this. And that's going to help to conceptualize when we're graphing. So vertical asymptote, x is equal to 5. And now plotting these points here, we have 0, 4. We have 2, 3.33. So we have 2 and 3. These are going by 2. So 2, 3.33. And we have 3.5, 1.67. So 3.5 is going to be 1.67 right here. So what that's going to look like is something like this. And on the right side, we have negative 4.5, negative 5. So negative 4.5 or 4.5, negative 5. So 4.5, negative 5. It's going to be okay. 4.5 is negative 5. That's not on the right side, that's on the left side. So that's down here. 4.5, negative 5 is going to be about here. There we go. Okay, now the right side. We have 6.5, 8.33. So 6.5, 8.33 is going to be about right here. And then we have 8, 6.67. So 8, 6.67 is going to be about right here. So on the right side, things are going to look something like this. And so what we have here is we have x equals 4 is our solution by graphing. So that's how we'd find that. That's what it should look like. Next, 14-16, solve each rational equation algebraically. And what we're going to do is find our least common denominator and our excluded values. So for problem 14, our least common denominator is going to be these two denominators multiplied together, which is going to be quantity x plus 9 times quantity x minus 1. And also we're going to check our excluded values, because that's going to help us to find solutions that are not real, or what do we say, extraneous. So excluded values, x cannot equal negative 9, and x cannot equal 1. Let's go ahead and rewrite this. We have 2x over x plus 9, and we're going to get to multiply by our least common denominator as x plus 9, x minus 1, and that's going to be equal to, on the right side we have x minus 2 over x minus 1, and we're going to multiply that by x plus 9, x minus 1, and we're going to cancel out x plus 9 on the left side, and x minus 1 on the right side. So what we have left is 2x times quantity x minus 1 is equal to x minus 2 times quantity x plus 9. And multiplying all these together, on the left side we get 2x squared minus 2x, and on the right side we have x squared, and we have minus 2x plus 9x. I'll just write it out. And we have 2x plus 9x, and we're going to have minus 18. And so just putting like terms together, we get 2x squared minus 2x equals x squared plus 7x minus 18. And now we're going to go ahead and move this right side over the left side. Subtract 2x, I'm going to subtract x squared, subtract x squared, subtract 7x, and add 18. So we put plus 18. So the right side cancels out to be 0. The left side, we have left x squared, and we have negative 2x minus 7x. That's going to be minus 9x, and we're going to have plus 18, and that's going to be equal to 0. And so factoring on the left, we're going to have x minus 6 and 3. So we have x is going to be equal to 3, x is going to be equal to 6, solving for this. And these are going to be, and none of these are excluded values, so these are what we call real solutions. And that will be our answer to problem 14. 15, we have 24 over x squared minus 16 minus 3 over x minus 4 equals 4 over x plus 4. So our common denominator is going to be our factored form of x squared minus 16. So we're going to have that, we're going to call that quantity x plus 4 times quantity x minus 4. And our excluded values are going to be x cannot equal plus or minus 4. So if we see plus or minus 4 as a solution, we're going to know that that's not a real solution. So let's go ahead and rewrite this expression here. We have 24 over, I'm going to put x plus 4, x minus 4, and we have to multiply this by x plus 4, x minus 4, and then we have minus 3 over x minus 4, and we have to multiply this by x plus 4, x minus 4, and then we have equals on the right side 4 over x plus 4, and we multiply that by x plus 4, x minus 4, and then we cancel out everything we can. We should clear out all our denominators. All that will cancel. X minus 4 over x minus 4 will cancel. On the right side we have x plus 4. X plus 4 will cancel left. Over we have 24 minus 3 times quantity x plus 4, and that's going to be equal to 4 times quantity x minus 4. And distributing, we have on the left side 24 minus 3x minus 12 is going to be equal to 4x minus 16. And so we have, just kind of combining on the left side, we have negative 3x plus 12 is equal to 4x minus 16. And now we're going to get rid of this 16 by adding 16 to both sides, plus 16. And then we're going to add 3x to both sides here. So what we have left is 28 on the left side is equal to 7x. And dividing by 7, x is equal to 4. And this is extraneous because x cannot equal 4. Remember that? So you can put down extraneous, x equals 4 is extraneous, or you can put down no solution or no real solution would be another alternative answer to problem number 15. Now number 16, we have 5 minus x over x squared minus 3x minus 10 equals 2. So our common denominator for this one, I'm going to call this the factored form of our denominator here, which is going to be x. I'm going to call that x minus plus, and it's going to be 5 and 2. So quantity x minus 5 times quantity x plus 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 5 minus x and rewrite that as negative times quantity x minus 5. That just might make our life easier. And our excluded values are going to be x cannot equal 5, and also x cannot equal negative 2. Okay, so now let's write this here. We have I'm going to write this 5 minus x as negative x minus 5. I'm going to rewrite this as denominator is quantity x minus 5, x plus 2, and multiply by our common denominator of x minus 5, x plus 2, and on the right side that's going to be equal to 2. We have x minus 5, x plus 2, and so we're going to be able to cancel out everything here. So on the left side we have negative x plus 5 is equal to 2. I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything out. We have x squared, then we have minus 5x plus 2x is going to be minus 3x, and then we're going to have minus 10, which should make sense. So we have negative x plus 5 is equal to 2x squared minus 6x minus 10. And then if we go ahead and add x and subtract 5, so plus x minus 5, we get 0 is equal to 2x squared minus 5x minus 15. So what we have is this to factor on the right side. I'm going to go ahead and I guess I'll just go ahead and write it like this. Hope it's factorable. We're going to have 2x squared, 2x and x. Then for 15, 5 and 3 are probably going to be it. So 3, 5. How about 3 over here? Three and 5. Ooh. 5, 3, 5 here. Plus x, plus x. Somehow this doesn't look right. Let's see what I have here. I'll work this out. 16. It should have 2x minus 5x minus 25, because that should be 20 right here. Yeah, okay. Minus 5, that's going to be 25. Okay, that looks better. Okay, you do that. You're going to have 2x plus 5, x minus 5. Okay, so we have 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, and subtract 5, so we have 2x equals negative 5, so we have x is equal to negative 5 halves, and then we have for this other one x is equal to 5, and x is equal to 5 is extraneous solution, or not real. So the only real solution is x equals negative 5 halves. So this is going to be called our solution or real solution. And what I did is I graphed this in the calculator. So if you enter this, let me show you how this works out. If you take this, set this by graphing, we subtract 2 from each side. That's setting the right side equal to 0. What that does in the calculator, it looks like this. And when you graph, that looks like this. I hope you can see that we have a solution at x equals negative 5 over 2. So that's a graphical corroboration. Okay, the last one I gave you on this test is 17. Does each of these rational expressions have the least common denominator of 4 times quantity x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 2? Okay, how do we do that? Let's go ahead and rewrite this as our common denominator for the first one. We have 4 times x squared minus 4. That's going to be equal to 4 times quantity x plus 2, x minus 2. And then for the other one here, we have, this is part A we're working out, 2x squared I don't think I got this right. Let me get this right. the first one. 4 times quantity x squared minus 4. Oh man, I'm just not rewriting. 4x squared minus 4, that's what it is, equals 4 times quantity x squared minus 1. So that's going to be 4 times quantity x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, that's A. And then we have 2x squared minus 8 equals 2 times quantity x squared minus 4, which is going to be 2 times x minus 2, x plus 2. And so what that's going to be is, none of these are in common. We're going to get 4 definitely, but we're going to get x minus 1 is and we'll have x plus 1 and x plus 2, x minus 2. So no, this cannot be it. Okay, the next one we have for B is we have 2 times quantity x minus 2, or 2x minus 2. I'm just working ahead of myself. 2x minus 2 is going to be equal to 2 times quantity x minus 1. And then we have 4x squared minus 16 is equal to 4 times quantity x minus 4, or x squared minus 4, which is equal to 4 times x plus 2, x minus 2. And yeah, we're going to have our common denominator is going to be 4, and we're going to have our x minus 1 here, and we're going to need to pick up our x plus 2, x minus 2. So that definitely has that least common denominator we're talking about, so that's a yes. Okay, now for C, we have 4x minus 8 is equal to 4 times quantity x minus 2. And then we have x squared plus 3x plus 2 is going to be equal to x plus 2, x minus 1. And so our least common denominator for this one is going to be 4 x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 1. Is that going to be right? No, let's see, x plus 2, x minus 1. So that actually, yeah, x minus 2, x minus 2, x plus 2, x. That looks plus 1. Oops, this is going to be plus 1 here. I've got that wrong. So that's going to be plus 1. Yeah, so that's going to be, this isn't going to work out either. Okay, the last one here, D, is going to be 2 x minus 4 is going to be equal to 2 times quantity x minus 2. And then we have this one here, 4 x squared plus 4x minus 8 is going to be equal to 4 times quantity x squared plus x minus 2, which is going to be equal to 4 x plus 2, x minus 1. So our least common denominator here is going to be 4 times x plus 2, x minus 1, x minus 2, which is going to be that same least common denominator we were talking about. So D is yes. So that's going to be our test. Yeah, it's a long test, and you saw that just even working and not, if I didn't check, I would have missed a couple here just working it through like you saw me do it. I hope this has been helpful to you. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.